Well, y'all, I just plugged those in. Okay, I gotta stuff something. I'm just gonna like, is not gonna be proper. I'm just stuffing this up in here because I don't want the water to come shooting out of this open drain pipe. So I know it's like not proper, but it just is what it is. So I hooked those up, tightened them down, turned the water on both of these valves, turned both of, and I could feel the water shoot up. So I had to do this because you guys, I've got so many things going on, and then I'll just be doing something and some person will come make some crazy demands at me of something they want me to take care of that I don't care about. And so it gets a little, my mind space gets a little bit sketchy. So I know that once I get this water running, if I don't do this, even though this down here is not hooked up to nothing, you know what, just in case I'm like extra stupid, I'm just gonna put that bucket, because even though I would be sitting here like running the water and then hearing it just pour all over the ground and be like, what's that noise? Okay, so I gotta do things like this to be like, no. So remember, my faucet was completely plugged up. I have not run any water out of my kitchen faucet since I arrived, and for like 2 years prior to that. So that's kind of the whole impetus of like this whole situation. I'm just like, okay, enough is enough. So anyways, you all gotta take part in this with me. I hope you appreciate that. Now I'm gonna just let this fill up a little bit, not too much. That's good enough. Okay, and then we gotta see what's going on with this. If this is, it seems to be okay. Well, I at least have 1/2 of a double sink in the kitchen good to go now. That's amazing. But anyways, I think I started to mention this, but I'm just gonna put a big fat bead of caulk around that, and like I kind of don't mind it because it's like, hello, I am like sticking up out of the counter. I'm your big glorious new sink that is going to hopefully last you the rest of your life. So it's beautiful. I'm so stoked. And you know, they have like fancier ones, I think, these, but this just came with my garbage disposal and it's quite alright. It's gonna work, you know. And then so the other thing is like I was worried because I only had the one outlet there, and I'm like, oh, where am I gonna plug the disposal into? But I was like, oh well, where's the switch? Well, I forgot that they actually have the outlet right here for the disposal, and they're both like, I was gonna try to also hook the dishwasher into that, but they're both on the same switch. So anyways, it's not like a super crazy high powered, it's like, it's just a low-key garbage disposal. It was very inexpensive. It doesn't have like super crazy spiky teeth on it. It's just like low-key. Okay, and it's gonna be fine for me because again, I don't like to put a whole lot of stuff down the drain, but you know, I needed one anyways to be able to help process this dish. Well, I guess I didn't necessarily, but I don't know, it happened. It's in there. I'm happy it's in there. No, I guess. So the other thing is I looked for a separate shut-off valve for just the dishwasher, because this hot water, it tees off into the dishwasher, okay? And I don't have my spin-down filter on my hot water heater yet, but it just is what it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I got the stuff out of this thing. See, I did not get all the stuff out of this thing in the bottom. I forgot the tag. I'm gonna actually want to save that tag. But anyways, if you guys wanna, I don't know how often they're saying the typical person uses this thing. So I don't know, I'm just hoping this thing lasts me for, you know, at least a decade. I guess I gotta take off all this stuff. Yeah, I'm just really happy that that big gouge that it looked like was in the front, because I was like really worried that maybe they did give me a scratch and dent, that they just put some new supposed protective stuff on. But that whole gouge was just in the protective plastic, so it was totally fine. Well, what is this thing about? I think I can take this out. I feel like maybe I should just, there's that part of me that's like, I just want to fill this up with some dishes, because I am a little bit behind on some dishes. But I just have to be able to shut it off if it's leaking, so I'm just gonna run it for a cycle. I do have some liquid gasket because I needed some for my washing machine when I had to rehook that up. So there's no soap or nothing in here. So it says normal, but then they also have a light 1 hour wash. So I guess I could turn these things on if I wanted to. Oh, you can delay the hours. I don't need a dry boost right now. Oh, whoa, it's either, oh, there it goes off. So wash zones, upper, lower. I feel like I want it to go ahead and shoot out tons of water so that I can see better if it's leaking. I think this is always sanitized clean. But yeah, I was like, wow, I really want something with steam. And I want bottle washers. I do kind of wish that the bottle jets were down below so that I could just put like my my big old half-gallon mason jars up on there. But again, it's possible that they'll fit if I slide this down, but it is at least gonna fit a lot of my smaller stuff. So it'll be quite nice. It just has the 4 of them right here. So let me show you guys real quick, because I really like these bottles, and they're swing top bottles. I forget exactly what they're called. Sorry, it's all crazy over here. In this area, I have not sanitized yet. Look how crazy it is. That it's like hollowed out, that bag of flour. Okay, but these bottles here will definitely fit there. They're the smaller ones, and then I have the really big swing tops that probably are not gonna fit. So I'll still have to wash those the old-fashioned way. But it's nice that these will still fit, and since I am just like an individual person here right now, I can still be using those bottles to make myself some homemade lacto-fermented sodas and carbonate them and things like that. And one of the big pains about those bottles is washing them, and so it creates a lot of friction to using them sometimes, because I don't necessarily like having to wash them all the time. So if I just switch to some of the smaller bottles instead of the huge ones for a lot of my stuff, then it's going to be fine. But yeah, I don't know if these half-gallon mason jars will fit or not. But I love those things. There's the Josephine. Yeah, it's all crazy. Well, let's get this turned on. And there was like a lot of hubbub earlier, and I couldn't figure out what exactly was going on. What everyone was like losing their ish over. And then Jay was finally telling me that somebody made a complaint. And I don't know if it was you or not, Kate. Because that's the impression that I got, even though he wouldn't straight up tell me who it was. He was just, some people were kind of surprised. And I don't know if that went into the JCOS or what. But if that was you, I know you're somebody who understands what it's like to just be terribly dehumanized and things like that. So, although I'm still not convinced it's you, because it's weird, but everything's weird. Everything's been weird for a long time. So, if that was you or whoever that was, I appreciate you. I just want you to know that. Because this is like, I've just gotten back here after 2 years, but even before, like last election cycle and all the crazy violence and everything. Like, this is where I was. This is where I was with my daughter. And this is just like the world that we're living in. And I got stuff going on. Like, some of it I feel we're talking about, because how people they can't accept the reality of my circumstances. You know, and so I was talking about the pool liner is going to become a wall, because I'm actually, when I dig this out, I'm going to put in the duck house. I'm actually going to be building myself a little underground room that's ungrounded and underneath some water as well, to just minimize, you know, most people, it's one thing to be paranoid, it's another thing when you've actually had to live it and had people threatening to put you through it again. So it's going to be a lot of work, you know, and it's kind of weird and ironic and sad that my friend's Kubota got stolen by his own shyster. But yeah, so I'm probably going to be hand digging this hill out eventually. But anyways, I'm going to just wait and see how this goes. I haven't checked in on my YouTube to see if my daily restriction, my new daily restriction has been lifted yet or not. Where did my flashlight go? It's right here. So this thing is going. We'll see. Oh, I'm so old. It's tough. It's really hard to get to look under this. You guys aren't going to be able to see it, but I don't actually see any water dripping anywhere. So I think it's actually, I mean, I don't know if I can get the camera down in there or not for you guys. It's like going to be all upside down and stuff, but you can't really, the camera's not quite low enough. But I don't see any water coming out of there. So it's good. I think the drain, well, I can't tell if that's just water on the inside of my thingamabobber. I gotta just like check all the things out. I don't see any water up in here. And then I didn't get, this is supposed to have like, it's got the stainless tub and it's supposed to have like a leak safety design. So they do sell these little trays that you can put under your dishwasher. But it's like, they're kind of pricey, and I'm pretty sure this thing is supposed to have some level of built-in. Now, obviously not for some of the stuff. So I don't know if that's something that I should go back and get later eventually or not. But I think I might not need it. So anyways, I'm going to stop this and I'm going to load this up with some dishes, I think. Because where did my thingamabobber go? Well, first of all, the cooler, they gave me this with the thing. And I'm not going to be putting in the clips. These are all the clips that go in. So I'm just going to like literally be like taping that whole bag to the underneath of the sink so that they don't get lost. So that if anybody in the future is ever like, why is this like this and it has to get fixed, like their OCD can't handle it or something, then they'll still have the clips. But they gave me this, and then the protective film did leave some, a little bit of adhesive on it. So I'm going to be able to go through and clean that off with this. Although maybe I'll wait until I get my sink hooked up all the way. And then, where was the other thing? It's a mess, guys. My living room, I haven't finished fixing yet because I haven't finished clearing off the bookshelf that some of my tools and stuff are going to be getting moved to. Well, this is like my world. This is why I actually had to get, they had a cheap pack of like a 7-pack of gloves at the Home Depot that was like the price of like one pair of gloves, of like the single gloves, and I had to get myself a pack even though they're like a size too big, because I was spending up like 10 minutes like multiple times a day just looking for my gloves because I'll get such bad blisters. Well, anyways, somewhere around here, the dishwasher place, they gave me a little packet of dish soap to start with to use. So I think I'm going to actually load this up. And once I find that, and I don't know what the heck it is, I'm going to find it eventually. I got to figure out what the heck this thing is. Like, maybe I'm supposed to be putting in this thing. I should probably figure that out, because I didn't read the directions all the way. But I don't see water coming out the front. These might be just replacements for the future. I don't know. I got to figure it out, guys. Anyways, I'm going to find the soap stuff, and I'm going to load some stuff into here. I'm a little bit embarrassed that I actually, at some point, because like my dishes in here actually didn't get moused. They just have some spider webs and things, so they need like light washing. But I've just been kind of using some more stuff, and then some other. I got some stuff stacking up. It's in the bathtub. It's all horrifying, guys. But I'm excited about things like my beans are coming up nice. And this is like partially the sacrifice to have a chance at a bean harvest this year of azuki beans, which I love to eat. So we'll see. It's been raining, but I'll show you guys how big my beans are. These, okay, so these, yeah, I did something, but they were $2.50. I mean, that is a piece, but still. But I'm gonna fill out some stuff, and it's gonna be beautiful. I probably shouldn't have done that. But it's like right as I was going to check out the place, because it's like the other place was too far from my car, the workers there were sticking all those 75% off clearance stickers on the plants. I was like, oh my goodness, something inside of me, guys. But anyways, obviously I got a lot of weeding. I've been actually just trying to go through the rows and like weeding some stuff. My beans are getting big enough that I can start busting up all these things with the cultivator. I missed some. So mostly I've been walking through, and obviously I haven't gotten 100%, but these thistles get so big so fast. I've been pulling those out. I don't have gloves right now, otherwise I would just pull these out right now. Okay. So it's slowly coming along. So I still got to get in through here. This is going to have to be kind of one of my priorities, because I don't want just like a mediocre 50-pound bean harvest, because I was reading like, well, you know, if you irrigate them, if you water them, then some people actually get just these massive yields. So even though I have like a small space, you know, again, maybe I'll end up with nothing. But if I water them, maybe they'll do well. Now down here, you know, some of them, they started coming up because I'd watered down here. So fortunately, some of these have come up before the rain. And this needs more weeding. This is an area that also had just like a lot of the zombie grass roots, and that's why it looks like these beans are in such big divots, because there's just these mounds of roots next to it. And I gotta go pull the thistles in through there. These are getting big. Let's see. So this area had gotten water, you know, on a couple of occasions, and then you can see where like over here it's like much less beans are sprouted, because my water wasn't getting over here. Even though the sprinkler should have been able to reach out to like here, it's like there was the day that I did this, the wind was pushing all the water that way. So I still got to get in through here. My tiller is not fixed, and obviously it shouldn't be out here, and it just is what it is. But this whole space here, because my beans are only planted to here, but this whole space here I'll be able to plant with something else. So I'm going to start my Napa cabbage in a planting tray. And then unfortunately I also need to get some flowers started for my neighbor that I promised that I was supposed to actually start over the weekend, and I didn't, because there's been some stuff to deal with. But anyways, this is my grape right now. It's funny because you can kind of see these bags a little bit from the road, but as long as the deer can see them. So we'll see how this goes. I'm hoping that this works out real well. I'm like super cautiously optimistic, because again, it's like, for all I know, some animal will come kill it. It's like I've joked before, like after the raccoons destroyed 100% of my ears of sweet corn, and I had this area like in sweet corn before my garlic was there. I've joked that I don't mind like tithing like 10-15% to nature, but when they take 100%, it's greedy. It's a little bit too greedy. So a lot of people, they have to fence their sweet corn and stuff like that. Oh, we got a Josephine. anyways, I'm not gonna keep this rolling the whole time I'm in there. I don't know. Haven't fixed my mower. It's all like, it's marginal, you guys. It's marginal. It's a work in progress. And it's gonna start, all the things that I'm behind on are gonna start catching up to me real quick. And then the birds are gonna come in. And my garage roof still leaks. So instead of ordering the liquid rubber, what I gotta do is, because, you know, if that would have actually come in on time, I could have had that done and everything. But now what I gotta do is I gotta order some fiber asphalt roof coating for my, by the way, if you heard that, that's my shoe squishing. That's not me. But this whole area needs cleared out. I don't know how much I'm gonna start with because I'm haven't got any landscape timbers in a while. I think that I might, because I'm gonna have to have a landscape timber like every 8 foot, including throughout as supports. I think that what I'm gonna do when I do this is I'm just, because eventually I want it to be all along the side, and then eventually I want it to come out quite a ways, but I'm just gonna build it in like sections, if that makes sense. Since I need those supports throughout, like for the roof and everything, to the fence, because it has to have fencing up top. So I am gonna start clearing this because I want to build a little, I'll start with 8 foot coming out, or however long a landscape timber is what I'm gonna do. But then, you know, eventually when the hillside situation is all ready for my birds to be like their main thing, and eventually one day in the future, I want to get it normal fenced and electric fenced. But anyways, these are some of those wild grapes coming in. And I got to actually get this vine off of the garage, but it's going to end up putting out these little purple bitter berries that are still interesting. You know, you could still like add a couple of them to flavor something, but just by themselves, they're very, very bitter. They're probably got lots of nutrients in them, but it's like too bitter to really have in any large quantity, in my opinion. But the thing is, again, all these vines, I'm going to be able to like splice with my, like, not, I might just get rid of these, but I'll be able to splice my Concord grape onto these eventually and make just a massive amount of, you know, I could do aged vinegars and wine for myself and all sorts of stuff. One day, I don't know, if Hezekiah's ever able to come home, I actually haven't talked to him about this one, but one day maybe I'll even add like a small like winery or something that I can make like peach wine and plum wine and grape wine, but then it'd have to be like a separate building that meets code and everything. But that's like way down the road, you know? But if my Hezekiah is able to come home, he wants to have a wood shop. So, because I was asking him, you know, what projects does he want? And he's kind of wants the outdoor cooking space to be his, is another reason why I'm not bothering with it too much. I'll just make it work kind of for myself for now. And then he kind of wants a wood shop. So eventually, you know, the coop's not going to be in here anymore. And we'll be able to make that happen. And this is going to need new side and all sorts of stuff. But anyways, you guys are kind of getting the meander with me. This video is going to take me like all day to post tomorrow because I'm probably going to splice it all together. I don't know if I caught any slugs up in there or not. I don't really want to find out. But that's one of my giant coleworts. Them clearance flowers that I bought are I forget what they are already. I forget. They both start with S. Maybe Speedwell or something like that, and like Salvia. But I might pop them in here. I still haven't got my brush pile. It's a mess, but it's slowly. I'm trying to also work on things that's gonna be like good for a while. So we'll see how it goes. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm mostly just exhausted is why I'm like droning on and rambling. But anyways, whoever that was earlier, that the guys were all losing their shish kebabs over. I appreciate you, okay?